Hello everybody, how are you? I hope you're doing super well. Thank you so much for joining me for today's video. I'm very excited about it. It is officially October 1st, which means I have my ghost mug and my most autumnal jumper. Thank you. There's a pile of books that's been slowly growing as I bought more and more, and it's about to topple over, which basically means that it's time to do a book haul. So the first book that I want to show you very quickly is Babel by R.F. Kuang. I got the Waterstone special edition of this, so it's just got black sprayed edges, but it is so stunning. This is one of my favourite covers that I've seen in quite a long time. It is like something I would hang on my wall, happily. This follows a character called Robin Swift, who has basically been trained in the art of translation his whole life in order to go to Babel, which is the Institute of Translation at the University of Oxford. But when he gets there, I think he realises that it isn't what it seems, and it becomes more of a prison than anything. I'm only like 50 pages in, but I'm really into it, I'm really feeling it. The only problem is that it's so heavy. I'm such a loser. It's really hurting my right wrist. Since I started reading this, my wrist hurts. What's the solution to this problem? Read it on a table? Maybe that's the solution. Anyway, I'm really enjoying the book itself. It's wonderful. The writing is sublime. So that is Babel. Or Babel. If I've been saying it wrong this whole time, then I can only apologise. I'm very, very sorry. Next, we have a charity shop find. This is Great Circle by Maggie Shipstead. This follows a character called Marion, who was born in the early 1900s, and she is obsessed with freedom and exploring and travel, and her greatest ambition is to circumnavigate the globe from pole to pole. So we follow her story, and we also follow the character who is playing Marion in a movie 50 years later, and why she took the role, why she connected to the role, and I believe that truths are unveiled. I did actually start reading the first couple of chapters of this because I couldn't hold myself back, and it was so great. Can't wait for this. I think I'm gonna absolutely love this. This just sounds like it's for me. I love stories about like Hollywood and unfurling the truth. It's just like, yeah, thank you. Next, we have a book that I'm very excited about, and it is Infamous by Lex Croucher. This is a Regency romance following a character called Edith, or Eddie, who is a writer. She grows up alongside Rose, who is a very, very best friend, and they grow up doing everything together, including practicing kissing. Hello. But basically she falls into a crowd of eccentric artists. She starts hanging out with a very charming poet called Nash Nicholson, and she's torn between, I believe, this lifestyle of hedonism with Nash the poet and I'm guessing her best friend Rose. I believe that the main character is bisexual, so there's bisexual rep in here. Lex writes with the greatest wit and the greatest humour. I do know them and they are my friend, but that doesn't affect my review of their books because we basically share almost exactly the same sense of humour, and they're also just a sensational writer, so I cannot wait for this. This is gonna be so good. I can't wait, I'm so excited. Next, we have The Paper Palace by Miranda Cowley Heller. This is probably the book I know the least about on this list. All I know is that it's set within a 24-hour period, and I love books set within 24 hours. I think if they're executed well, they are so fucking good. And I think that this is about unraveling of secrets and lies and a complex love triangle. Sure. Sounds good to me. I haven't picked it up yet, don't know when I will. Also, I can't even talk about the residue that this roundel has left on this beautiful cover. Upsetting. Why are you doing this to me? I am a victim of this roundel. Why is this roundel out to get me? It's all I see when I pick up this book. Is that the reason I haven't read this yet? Maybe. Maybe. Yeah. Next, we have something a little bit sexy, and it's Acts of Service by Lillian Fishman? Yes. This basically follows our main character who shares her nudes online, and through that interaction she meets a couple and those three start a relationship with each other. Our main character also has a girlfriend, so she is basically having an affair. In the bio it says, what do we bring to sex? What does it reveal of ourselves and one another? And how do we reconcile what we want with what we think we should want? Lots of discussion about sex and sexuality. Really excited about it. I don't think I've read anything like this, and I've just heard really good things, so can't wait for this. Next, we have a memoir that I am so excited for. It is Making a Scene by Constance Wu. I actually grabbed this from work and I was so happy about it. I recently watched Hustlers with Constance Wu in it, and I was just like, I love her. Anyway, besides the point, the book follows Constance Wu's childhood, growing up as a emotional and bold child, and she basically finds refuge in acting, and it follows her life up till now, I believe. She talks about love and heartbreak, her journey through Hollywood. I love a memoir from some kind of artist, especially musicians and actresses, so literally can't wait for this. Next we have Other People's Clothes by Kella Henkel. This is set in Berlin, and it basically follows two young women, I think, who move into an apartment and they are just partying all the time, having a lovely old time. But I think things start to go a bit awry when they believe that their neighbour is spying on them, and I think things just start to spiral out of control. Sounds great! I haven't heard too much about this, but it sounds very intriguing, and it's been a while since I've read a kind of funny, well-observed kind of, I don't know if this is a thriller. Touches on sex, queerness, Berlin nightlife, drugs and celebrity culture. Sure, sounds great to me. Next, I got my hands on a proof, weirdly, of Sorrow and Bliss by Meg Mason. This has been out for ages. Just ignore the fact that I have a proof. Actually, I mean, I'm not ignoring it because it's fucking floppy. This follows, I think, 40-year-old Martha, on the edge of 40, friendless, practically jobless, and so often sad, and her husband has just left her, and I think that it basically follows this woman who struggles greatly with her mental health, and she moves back in with her parents, I think, to sort of start again and heal, and it basically follows the tale of that. But I've heard that Meg Mason writes so superbly about mental health, and I'm just very, very, very excited to see it for myself. I've heard such good things about this, so I'm really happy that I have a copy now and I can dive into it. Don't know when I'm gonna read this. I would ideally like to go into it when my mental health is doing very well, and that's not super often, so we'll see when I get to this, but let me know if you've read it. I'm truly in my flop era. Like, it's absurd how much more I will consider buying a book if it's floppy. It's not good, I don't think. Next we have A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I'm sure you've heard of this by now. I think that the new TV series has just been announced. This is so hugely successful. I think that probably at least 50% of the people watching this video have already read this. I've just never picked it up before now for some reason, but I found this in a charity shop and I was very happy about it. This actually follows a character called Pip, weird, exciting, who chooses to investigate a murder for a school project, and she begins to uncover dark secrets. Sounds great, heard it's great. It must be great. I am expecting good things. It also gives really strong, like, back to school energy, big September vibes, so I was kind of hoping to read it around like now-ish, but it's not calling to me just yet. But anyway, let me know if you've read it. Thank you. We have 2 books left to talk about. So the second to last one is Selected Poems by Caroline Duffy. Picked this up in a little charity shop. I just couldn't say no after I read Rapture by her earlier in the year. Absolutely fell in love with it, fell in love with her. It's also very, very short, so I'm hoping that I will pick this up quite soon. The cover I think is so cool and so retro. Kind of obsessed with it, not gonna lie. Kind of want it up on my wall, not gonna lie. We're on to the last book, which is actually a book that I've already read, but it's Heartless by Marissa Meyer. I read this on ebook years and years ago, and for some reason I just never picked up a copy. I don't know why, but I found this in a charity shop and I thought that I should just pick it up and have a copy for myself because it was the only Marissa Meyer book in my collection that's missing, so very happy to have this. This is, if you are not aware, the story of how the Queen of Hearts came to be in the Alice in Wonderland world. It shows her growing up. It's literally just her villain origin story. It's a tough one, but it's very, very good. And what the hell was that noise? Well, it's good we're at the end of the video. I don't know if you can even hear it. Anyway, this is Heartless. Very happy to have it in my Marissa Meyer collection, and it's going right here. She's got a slot reserved for her. Wow, you can't even see that. So they are all the books that I have picked up recently. Let me know if you've read any of these, if you highly recommend that I pick any of them up super soon, especially for autumn season. I would love to hear. And that's pretty much everything. Thank you so much for watching, as usual. I really, really, really appreciate it. Hope you're having a very good day when you're watching this, and I will see you next time. Bye bye! Bye.